signs that you're being love bombed so you can avoid it, because let me tell you, when you're inside of that situation, it is hell. I didn't even know what this was when it happened to me years ago because I'd been out of the dating game for so long. It's basically when someone completely overwhelms you with constant love, gifts, etc. I'll give you guys like a full breakdown, at least of my experience. And they're doing it in a way to obviously just manipulate you. Things to look out for, let's break it down. He's saying all of the right things right out of the gate. Like way too early to be saying the things that he's saying. And there may be even things that you want to hear and that you've hoped for and that you've wished for and that you prayed for, but it's like way too early to be saying all these things to someone. Love bombing. Trying to completely isolate you from your friends so you don't hang out with them. Totally just like monopolize every spare minute of your time. Love bombing. Everything just seems like too perfect. You get that gut feeling inside, your body's telling you, is this too good to be true? I don't know, like you kind of know, love bombing. Excessive and manipulative gift giving, like constantly giving you gifts or constantly taking you on trips, doing like an overwhelming and like kind of weirdly inappropriate in the beginning amount of things for someone, whether that be like monetary gifts, like sending them flowers every other day, like just too much, way too much. Love bombing. Unfortunately, I could go on and on about this one for quite a while, but the inside of the tornado is an absolute shit show. So if you see any of these things, run for the hills. Let me know if you guys want a part 2 because I could get like a little bit deeper into this. Follow me for more videos like this. Love you guys. Bye. Stay safe out there.
Signs of love bombing. Number 1, they tell you the most beautiful compliments. They love you so much. You're the best thing they've ever seen, the best thing that's ever happened to them. 2, they lavish you with tons of gifts or trips. Number 3, they are quick to have you commit. Very, very quick. Move in with me. Let's get into a relationship. I love you very early on. 4, they mirror your desires, your hopes, your dreams, everything that you've ever looked for in the future. They make sure to have very similar ones, so you're thinking completely compatible. Number 5, they start isolating you. It's so little, it's like a little prick at first, but they quickly start isolating you and making you feel like, wait a second, is that person really my friend? Hold on, they said that we should take it slow, but I met the love of my life. Why would I take it slow? And slowly they start telling you, see, that person doesn't like me. Why are you gonna hang around them? You can follow for more.
Here are the 3 stages of love bombing and how you can avoid being love bombed. So what is love bombing? Love bombing is a manipulation tactic that is used, whether it's a narcissist or anybody else, where they give you an inorganic amount of attention, admiration, and affection to win you over. By doing this, they become the center of your universe. So the first step is called idealization. So the love bomber is going to do everything they possibly can to become the center of your universe, showering you with gifts. You're the most amazing person I've ever met. Let's go on a trip. I want to be with you. I want to be in a relationship with you after one date. The pinch doesn't match the ouch. The amount of attention, admiration, and affection they're giving you doesn't match the amount of time that they've known you. They'll say, you're my soulmate, or they want to rush and expedite the stages of a relationship. They're texting you and calling you nonstop. You're just the love of their life. Everything is happening so quickly. And for somebody with low self-esteem that's been just wanting this, they'll look at this as like, oh my God, finally somebody sees me for who I am, without understanding that that takes time for that to happen. And love bombers can seem so genuine that oftentimes it's hard to see the manipulation. Then the second step is devaluation. Once the love bomber has you, once they know that that your boundaries are down and that you trust them and that you love them, this is when the manipulation starts. And this is also when you start to see their true colors. This could be passive aggressive. This could be criticism. They're putting you down. They start to make snide comments. The behavior starts to change. All of a sudden, they're not as charming and incredible as they were to begin with. Now they're nitpicking. And it's so confusing because it's such a jarring difference from the person that they were, that the recipient of it is wildly confused and doesn't understand what's going on and is constantly questioning themselves. Essentially, they want to control the other person, and that's exactly why they're doing this, is so that they can end up saying whatever the fuck they want, and that's where the abuse can start to begin, because you trust and love this person because you think that they trust and that you can, but at the end of the day, you barely really know this person. And the last, third step could be discard, whether it's somebody that maybe starts to set boundaries with this person or calls them out and they start to realize it, or if the person that was love bombing realizes they have no use for this person anymore and they want to move on to somebody else, they'll drop them like a bad habit, because again, they were never after you. They were after the feeling that they got, the chase, this high. They were after what it made them feel, not how they felt with you or about you. And ways to avoid being love bombed? Set boundaries. It's super fucking important to set boundaries. Trust your gut. If somebody is saying something to you after one date, they want you to meet their family, or they want you to become their girlfriend, or they want exclusivity, something feels off, say it. Hey, this feels a little rushed to me. I barely know you. I'd like to go a little slower and get to know each other authentically. By going slow, taking your time, setting boundaries, and trusting your gut, you'll at the very least be able to see if they're full of shit. If someone's going to show up consistently over time, great, then you can start to trust them a little bit more. But like my mama has always said, when they come in hot and they give you a toothache because they're being too sweet, that is something to look out for.
How many relationships these days are starting either online or progressing largely over text? I think it's really important for women to know and to be able to guard against when they are being love bombed. I just wanted to bring awareness of exactly what love bombing looks like and how it is different from healthy communication at the start of a relationship. I'll tag the creator who posted these because I think she's doing a really, really great service. This is like really textbook of what average love bombing will look like almost every single time. But let's really dig into it. The first red flag actually happens right here. It's actually in the second text. Because something like "I miss you already," that's kind of benign enough. Like I wouldn't read too much into that. You can just have a strong connection, and something like that is not completely inappropriate to say. Do you know what I mean? But once we move on to like, "You're so beautiful, I could stare at you all day," that to me is a little bit like you're laying it on a little bit too thick. I just don't see how this is like appropriate to be saying at a very early stage in the relationship. It's just a little bit too much. I don't know why something about it doesn't sit right with me. But even if this is okay with you, if you could skate over this, please don't skate over this one. I have never felt a connection like this before, and it scares the living hell out of me. This is a trap right here. And if you respond positively to this, you've fallen into the trap. This is a setup. This is a setup for a later time. This is a setup to put pressure on you. This is a setup to put a lot of like pressure on the relationship really, really early on. If it really scared them that much, they probably wouldn't be telling you about it. They probably actually would play it safe, which is what a normal person would do. Somebody who's telling you this, just watch out. This is the next red flag, trying to move things forward in the relationship before it's like naturally time for that. So if you hadn't made a highlight on Instagram for you and this person already, then why are they telling you when to do and when to put things on your Instagram? I don't think most men would respond really well to a woman saying something like this. So don't think of it as like a sign of commitment from a man. Think of it as a sign of him getting you to buy in before it's time for you to really be buying in. So then it feels to you like you have something to lose. These next two kind of go together. Like I see a light at the end of this. We'll probably end up engaged in a year like that. This is like a subtly tricky one because while I do think it shouldn't take a man more than like a year or two to propose to you if he sees a future with you, saying it like this is very vague because you're going to end up being engaged in a year. Like, how do you end up? Do you just like trip and fall into an engagement? Like, what does that mean? It's like a little bit too vague. It's kind of like, oh, this might happen, but like, he's not taking an active role in it. I don't know. Something about it is weird. So this next series is more of the same, but I wanted to point out this one specifically. This is called like manufacturing or like pushing or forcing vulnerability. He's trying to get you to open up and like pour your heart out to him so that he knows what's important to you and like what buttons to push later. Like, this is not a good thing. This could be a green flag if it's happening like later in the relationship, maybe a couple months in. But if this is happening like first few days or first few weeks in, it's a little bit too soon to be like forcing vulnerability like that. This next one, "You're mine forever and always, I think I'm falling in love." Again, I want to point out this one specifically. I hope you're ready to be stuck with me forever. This is another subtle way of like forcing commitment and like loyalty before the loyalty is really there naturally. Next two could be kind of beige depending on the context. Like, "Why can't I see you every day?" Like, sure, maybe you're a couple months, couple weeks into the relationship. You can't get enough of each other. Like, I get it. I just want to hang with my girl. I get it. That's fine. A little bit more of the same, but you'll notice it's kind of cooling off. Like, now we're not really, it's just cooling off just a little bit. And this is usually the first sign of like, he's about to pump the brakes or he's about to do something like fucky. And this is the first like big red flag kind of thing. Like, "I date to marry, Sam. If you're not ready for that, you need to let me know." So this is the first time we're seeing this kind of authoritative and like kind of scary voice. This is the first switch up. So we've been hot, and now we're going to go cold. We're going to turn the water completely cold. Oh, this is him trying to position himself as like mature, as somebody who knows what he wants. But really, you shouldn't be dating to marry. Like, you should be dating to find the person that you want to marry. But dating to marry, it can sound like a really mature statement, but it's actually not. Because it already sounds like you're trying to shoehorn something that you think the other person is not ready for. Cooling off a bit more here, and then we get just completely thrown into an icy river with, "It's like I'm dating a child." Please watch for men who speak to you like this, right? So we're going from this authoritative voice to now you are the child in the relationship, and he's apparently the adult. This is where he was probably confronted about how much things have cooled off. There's probably been less contact, less in-person hangouts, and now he's trying to gaslight and to flip the blame. He's also trying to set it up as like, "Don't you see everything that I do for you? You know, that should prove to you enough that I'm interested." But it's like, you should keep doing the things that you have been doing. You don't get to just like stop and then be like, "Don't you see everything I've done for you in the past?" Like, no, the expectation was that you would keep doing these things. And now he's worried we're not going to last. And now we can fix everything and be happy if you want to fix it. Again, pay attention to where the blame is being put. So if you want to fix yourself, it's like I'm dating a child, you know? Don't you see how much I do for you? You have to fix it. We are completely in the nagging territory. This is where the abuse really starts. "Do you want me to talk to you today? Yes or no?" What the fuck kind of question is that? Like, that this is abuse already. I just won't tell you about exes or women anymore. This is abuse. So he's like threatening that he's going to lie to you and keep things from you because you supposedly had a bad reaction. And so to guarantee that he never gets that reaction again, he's going to gaslight you and be like, well, I just won't tell you anything anymore. Just don't even bother coming over or talking to me. You take his advice. I mean, honestly, if you're in this situation, if you're at this point, take his advice because it's the same advice that I would give you. Don't bother coming over or talking to this person. This is an abusive person. More abusive language. And now there's the Instagram highlight coming back in. This is the punishment. So this is what it's all been building up to. Hey, can you take me off your Instagram highlights? Now you're embarrassed. Now you feel foolish. Now you feel stupid. And that was the whole point. At this point, you are fully in the discard phase. This is him trying to just like this. He's done with you. He's done with you. It's not going anywhere after this. So watch out for the love bombing, ladies. Godspeed.
How to know if you're being love bombed or if this person has a genuine interest in you. So love bombing is an intense and overwhelming display of affection, especially in the early stages of dating. The point of love bombing is it's a manipulation tactic. The love bomber is trying to create an emotional dependency. That way the other person feels adored, loved, understood, and to an extreme degree, and that their boundaries are now down because the other person becomes the center of their universe. It's used to gain control, create an illusion of the perfect relationship. It's distracting the potential partner of the red flags that the other person can't see. Versus genuine interest is somebody that actually just likes you and they're showing sincerity and authenticity with you. Genuine interest isn't about overwhelming the other person to form a connection. It's about being authentic and just sharing how they feel to make sure that both people are in alignment. The first one is pace and intensity. The amount of time that this person has known you has to match the amount of admiration and affection that they're giving you. So if you have known this person for a week, a day, a month, and already you're the love of their life and you're the person for them and they can't imagine, and I want you to come on all these trips with me and you need to meet all my friends and family, that is love bombing. The person is revolving around the love bomber's desires and wants, as opposed to genuine interest is just understanding and getting to know the other person. Consistency. Love bombing will fade over time. That doesn't last forever, whereas genuine interest grows over time. So as you start to get to know this person and spend more time with them, you are learning more about them that causes you to like them and fall for them. Trust your instincts. If you are dating somebody and it feels like it's too good to be true and they're starting at 100, it's not that you need to kick them to the curb and walk away, but have your eyes wide open so that you can start to assess, is this authentic and real? Does this person have long-term intentions? Is this healthy? Or is this becoming emotional dependency and the person is trying to hide their ulterior motives and eventually end up breaking you down and you become a victim of their fucking bullshit?
This is how to manipulate someone by love bombing them. Do not use this strategy on anyone. I am only telling you this so that you can become aware and realize if it's happening to you and know when to get out. This happened to me, so I'm going to tell you my personal story as well. Stage 1 is the date. So they're going to take you out. They don't really know if you're the perfect target just yet, but they're still going to wine and dine you on the first date. So they're going to really impress you. But you're not going to trust them right away because they're just another person you're going on a date with. Nothing's new. You don't just trust anyone right away. But they will take that as a challenge. Wait a second, I'm going to get this person, you, to trust me and to do whatever I say. That's the challenge in their mind. So what they're going to do is move on to the next stage, which is the gifting stage, which is they literally will give you physical gifts, things that they know you will be head over heels for. So on that first date, and maybe some other dates that you might have, they will ask you so many questions about you and get to know you, get you to open up enough so that they can understand what they can do to make you happy, know what your weaknesses are, know what your strengths are, and also know what you want in a partner. And then they will basically shapeshift into that partner to please you and make you feel like you have found the one. Does that make sense? It's twisted. Okay, so after you start to receive these gifts, and these gifts are all things that you're like, oh my gosh, how did they know that I would want this? Things that really hit home for you, okay? Then, all of a sudden, you're going to start to trust this person more because the more gifts you receive, the more you trust them. And I don't want to make this a monetary thing, but the gifts could also just be spending time together, okay? And that's the other part of the third stage, which is they are with you all the time. And when you are with someone enough, you start to become comfortable with them, right? It's just they're a part of your routine. So if they are around enough and you begin to become comfortable, that also means you're opening up to trust them, be vulnerable. And that is when they move to the next stage. Stage 4 is all about the hot and cold behavior. So now that they know well, I have you wrapped around my finger. I know what you like. I know what your weaknesses are. I know what your strengths are. And I know what you want out of a partner. That's when they're like, I'm going to use you now and see what this works. So they just like disappear, or they just flip 180. Their behavior towards you is not the same. Like, for example, maybe one day, instead of always making plans for the weekend, they just like, there's no plans whatsoever. They just disappear. Or maybe you guys text every day and all of a sudden there's nothing. And you're like, what just happened? Or maybe you went on a vacation together and you get back from the vacation and there's no communication. And you're like, this isn't what they normally do. What's going on? This is when your normal like anxious attachment style would kick in. Or if you're securely attached and this bugs you, this is when you would start to grow an anxious attachment style because of their behavior. It's fucked. Okay, so now they're cold, right? They're out of the picture. They are just doing God knows what, okay? And you're kind of like, they're going to come back. I know they're going to come back. All of a sudden they do. They text you again. They want to go on a date with you again. And whatever it is, they return back into your life. And all of a sudden you're calm again. You're like, oh, they're back. It's okay. I can breathe again, okay? And then all of a sudden, now they know that you're very happy to see them. They're mixing pleasure and pain. That's like the secret sauce. All of a sudden they're like, I'm going to give you more pain. So then they do the same thing again. They disappear, but maybe it might be for a longer time. Okay. And then they come back and then you're even more happy to see them because it's like, you feel as if you don't have the drug being them in your life. And so when they do return, you're like, oh my God, this feels so good. And you're extra happy to see them. Okay. Maybe they cut the gifts as well. If they were giving you so many gifts or they were spending a lot of time with you, those two things, if they just cut those out of nowhere, that's the cold behavior. And then you're like, what's going on? So they either give you another gift and that's their hot behavior, like when they're back, or they're like, let's hang out, or like, let's go get dinner, or like whatever. And they want to spend time with you, and that's the hot behavior again. So that process goes back and forth multiple times until you become addicted to them. The name of the game with love bombing is you get your target. This is what the guy that I like dated did to me. You get your target, which was me, unfortunately, so addicted to you by understanding who they are, making them feel extremely loved, understanding the weaknesses and the strengths, and then using those against your target. In this case, it was me. That's how you play with their mind. And then you just pull away and you come back. You pull away and you come back. It's a hot, cold behavior. And the target will start to get used to the hot, cold behavior and know that whenever you go hot or whenever you go cold and there's pain involved, they know that pleasure will follow at some point. They don't know when, but it will. And that's why so many people stay with really bad partners, because they are in this terrible pleasure-pain cycle. And it's hard to get out of, because you know, it's like, if I'm in the pain era, pleasure just has to follow, so I'm going to stick through this. But little do you know, it's like this person is low-key manipulating you. Love bombers sometimes don't even know that they're love bombing you, but the ones that do are vicious, and you should definitely stay away from them because they're probably narcissists, and messing around with a narcissist is just a recipe for disaster, and you're going to waste so much energy and so much of your life for this person that is not going to be a good match for you. I guarantee it. Let me know if you want a part 2. I know this video is kind of long. Okay, I love you. Bye.